Alright. I'm sure the keyboard warriors have already started typing after seeing the title of this video, but just chill, okay? It's okay. Let's do it this way this time. Just watch this combat encounter, and then I'm gonna talk about my experience so far with Marathon. Before I roll the footage, I will say a couple of weeks ago, I released a video talking about my feelings on the Marathon Server Slam, and in that video, I compared it a lot to Arc Raiders. If you're new to the genre and have more familiarity with Arc Raiders than anything, I'd check out that video first. I will be talking about Marathon in this video more so in a way that is assuming you know the gist of a Tarkov-like extraction shooter. Alright, editing Slowco, do the thing. Damn, I can't pick anything up. Oh,
I see one.
yeah,
They just opened the door. They're almost down. They gotta be. They are down.
They're dead.
Nice.
Oh, they're shooting me from the other building. Over there.
Got something.
Yeah, I just heard it.
Right there.
We are not alone.
Hit him a bunch. Knocked him. There's a third.
Heard.
Or is that I can't tell if that was a robot. That's either a tank or a robot. Oh! It's a third.
The shadow path. Stealth engaged.
Right up there.
Knocked one from behind.
Downed. I think they're all down. Nope.
Right.
Sorry. I'm coming. I'm coming for JoJo.
Second's dead. So is there one up?
I have two down over on me.
Okay, so that's a third. They're dead. So I wanted you to look at that footage to preface something that I think has changed a lot since the server slam with the release of Marathon. If you're unaware, a critique that came out of the server slam was that there were dull moments and low PvP rate. I didn't quite feel this way, as I think the dead air between encounters, or the random runs where you don't encounter PvP, is what makes the PvP in a hardcore extraction shooter feel all that more adrenaline-inducing and fun. However, I've been having a great time with the increased volume, and I think they did a great job of just slightly turning the rate up while still holding that hardcore feeling. In addition to what I mentioned about this adding the adrenaline aspect to encounters, uniquely in Marathon, this pairs very well with the progression system. Of course, other games have done this, but it is much more of a focal point in this extraction game. Now I'm gonna eat my words from my previous video because I suspected Marathon wasn't for the casual gamer because of the progression system, coupled with the seasonal wipes. However, it for me personally has actually turned out to be quite the opposite. I've had a lot going on and a busy schedule for the past couple of weeks and haven't had much time to play Marathon. This has worked out pretty well for me surprisingly, as the way Marathon is built, I can play an hour or two every night or every other night and still progress and keep up with my friends. There's a couple of things that contribute to this. The first thing is the way the currency works. You can find data cards in Raid which automatically send money to your out of Raid wallet. Also, there's a lot of random stuff you can pick up in the game like empty coolers and food rations. When you extract, the game automatically not only organizes what you extracted with and breaks down your backpack into categories for you, but there are multiple items that the game automatically sells for you. I love this. It makes even those simple runs where you didn't find anything super valuable to still feel profitable and makes management in your vault a hell of a lot easier. The other thing, once again eating my words, is all the different ways to progress. One major thing I slept on in the server slam is the faction upgrades that give you freebies and unlock purchases in the armory. You can finish quests to unlock daily free rewards in the armory, such as weapons, weapon attachments, and shield charges. This of course makes a huge difference when your vault is running low. Also, there is a section called the Codex. This is full of challenges with various rewards. Sometimes there's no reward, sometimes it's cosmetic, and sometimes it's a whole lot of things like guns, ammunition, healing, and other resources. It is pretty often I forget to check this section, and then all of a sudden I have multiple rewards to claim. I've legit done raids and come back having completed 3 or more challenges in one. It's simple stuff like reaching certain levels, killing enemies of a certain type, or just finding certain resources. A pretty passive way to just get more gear, essentially. And on top of all that, completing the quests gets you very similar rewards like guns and ammunition and all that jazz. And all of these things still count, unless the quest states otherwise if you die in raid. I keep saying quests, but it's actually contracts, by the way. So, say you, for example, are low on resources, run in with a free kit, complete a contract, find multiple data cards, and finish a codex challenge. But get killed in PvP while extracting. You could come back to your home hub and get a free gun, ammunition, and currency from that contract, get a free backpack and valuable resources from your codex, and now you have more money. You possibly now unlock a faction upgrade that unlocks a free item, an item for purchase in the armory, or just level up a skill, and now you also have stuff to run in a custom kit in Raid and have the upper hand in PvP. It really just accrues like this, and all of a sudden you got too much stuff to know what to do with.
Oh, okay, that. Oh, below us.
Dead.
Nice, dude.
A small note, if you are playing and having a hard time finding resources you need, not only can you track those resources, but if you open your map in Raid, the points of interest with these types of resources will be labeled. You can also press escape and look at a list of all your tracked resources. Just some helpful knowledge if you're grinding to unlock something specific. It's really been fun to see how the game has changed so far too. Already, I'm starting to see higher and higher level gear on players I kill even though I haven't been able to play that much. The economy is working pretty well in those terms. Last week I was surprised to see someone with a green version of a gun I already had, and now this week I'm looting blue guns I've never seen before. Even the gameplay is changing a bit as I'm noticing more people sniping. This was a given if you ever played a Halo Online or Destiny. It was bound to happen just as much as the shotguns are pretty disgusting. Nevertheless, seeing people's tier of loot slowly rise is really cool, and I'm interested to see how this continues to affect gameplay. Something really exciting that I did not expect from Bungie is this sort of Dungeon Master Helldivers thing happening. If you don't know, there is essentially a community event happening that is only decipherable via social media posts, or if you're dumb like me, reading about other people deciphering the social media posts. This event is slowly unlocking the fourth map in the game. This tells me that the developers have really found their footing. As much as people want to gawk at player count and shout out about numbers, there has been a continuous stream of support via updates and content uploads on social media for the game from the devs. This sort of secret community event seems to be the devs having fun, and call me Huckleberry Finn, but I think that's pretty neat. When the developers are having fun in making or maintaining a game, that always makes a more enjoyable game for the players. Now what I'm really looking forward to is the raids coming at some point in the future. I have great memories running raids with my friends in Destiny. If you aren't familiar, in Destiny there are massive raids, not unlike raids seen in MMOs like WoW, where you team up and have to fight loads of enemies and bosses while figuring out puzzles to progress, all to finish with heaping mounts of glory and high tier loot. There are certainly times while playing Marathon as a Destiny fan where I get this feeling like, damn, I kind of wish they had made a more PvE focused game with a separate PvP mode. I am curious if the raids will lean more towards a PvE. As we have seen with some small scale things Arc Raiders has done, puzzle events can be a headache with open PvP worlds like an extraction raid, and people are much more likely to team up in that game than Marathon. Perhaps the air will shift in Marathon once raids come along. I've heard a couple of people actually talk in game in Marathon recently, which has honestly been a bit jarring given no one usually does. I also think these guys the other day were trying to friendly extract, but me and my buddy killed them. Oh well, it's a PvP game. So all that to say, I've been surprised at how casual friendly Marathon has been so far. Hopefully once my schedule clears up in a week or two, I have more time to play and can give you some more developed thoughts with how the season is going. Marathon in my eyes has really broken through the bullshit, a lot of that self-inflicted, and shown that they are here to give their fans a good game so far. It is very early in its development as a live service extraction shooter, and things could go any direction at any point. With that being said, if you have been on the fence or just hear bad things and aren't certain you should give Marathon a try, I'm here to tell you that you should. You certainly get $40 worth of content out of this game. I would actually argue that you get more than that. Also, if you don't have people to play with, by the way, there is even a class called Rook that is meant for solos. Everything about the character is meant to cater to playing by yourself and getting more resources. You can't equip a faction contract while playing as Rook, but you can get out with a good amount of stuff, and being that Rooks load in later to the raid is pretty different experience. Sometimes it's sketchy as you'll run into teams and get obliterated because you only loaded in with a pistol, but other times you load in and catch the scraps of a bunch of PvP, make it out with better gear than you can buy. Playing as Rook is a great way to get those track resources you're grinding and continue that smooth sailing progression. This game isn't for everyone, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be, and no game should be. Once again, referring to Helldivers in this, but Arrowhead Studios said it best. A game for everyone is a game for no one. And as Slowco says, a game for no one is a game that no one plays. I don't know. I'll keep working on that just like I'll keep working on this channel. Thanks so much if you made it this far. Consider giving a like and subscribing. See you in the next one. Peace.
Chat.
I hit the dab pen and like I'm freaking out. I'm like,
Dude, I'm freaking out.
dude, this is like
Dude.
the music is really getting me right now.
You never dab and run, dude. What the fuck?